Happy Easter, everyone. I'm Alicia Malone, and to celebrate Easter Sunday here on TCM, we have a lineup of religious movies, starting with a musical from 1973 that is based on the Gospel according to St. Matthew. It's Godspell, directed by David Green. This musical started with John Michael Tebelek, who initially conceived it for his master's thesis at Carnegie Mellon University, where it was performed by a group of students. Charles Haid, the associate producer, wanted to continue the show and managed to get the attention of a group of established producers, including Edgar Lansbury, Angela Lansbury's brother. They liked the idea and hired another Carnegie alumnus, Stephen Schwartz, to write new music for the show, and Godspell started its run off-Broadway, then toured around the world before making it to Broadway in 1976. In between came this film adaptation, with director David Green also working on the screenplay. The story follows the Gospel of St. Matthew, though here Jesus and Judas are flower children hippies living in modern-day New York. Now, in the central role of Jesus is Victor Garber. This was the Canadian actor's debut film role, and he was no stranger to the musical, having played Jesus in a Toronto production of Godspell. And that Canadian show has since become legendary because have a listen to who else was in the cast. Gilda Radner, Martin Short, Eugene Levy and Andrea Martin, with Paul Schaefer in charge of the music. Recently, in an interview, Garber said that they all remained friends and his role in this movie was life-changing for him. Also with David Haskell making his film debut from 1973, let's watch Godspell. That was a young Victor Garber as Jesus in Godspell, a role he had played in a Canadian production of the stage musical. And when he was cast to reprise his role in the film, Garber travelled to New York, and during filming he fell in love with the city, moving there permanently. He continued to act in musical and dramatic theatre, performing in various Broadway productions such as Sweeney Todd, Death Trap, Noise Is Off and Damn Yankees. And of course, he's had an impressive career in film and television, becoming a familiar face on our screens, appearing in everything from Titanic to The First Wives Club to Legally Blonde and the TV show Alias. Reviews for this version of Godspell were mixed. For example, Vincent Canby from the New York Times felt a little ambivalent about it, but he did praise the way it captured New York. And his review actually feels like a time capsule of what the city was like back in 1973, especially when he wrote, "I can't remember another film that seems to have caught the way New York appears on a lot of hot summer days when its jagged outlines are softened by a golden smog. The atmosphere may be lethal, but it's also incomparably romantic." All right, we have another version of the story of Jesus coming up next. This time, it's an epic from 1965, starring Max von Sydow as Jesus. So stay with us for more of TCM's Easter Sunday celebrations.
Next on TCM, the greatest story ever told, then The Room, and later, Easter Parade. Hold on to your bonnet for TCM Today.